Years ago, you decided to learn to pilot one of these things.
Well, originally I worked on the river before I ever got into music, and it was something that once it gets in your blood, you can't get rid of it. So it was something I had to get back to, just for my own spiritual satisfaction.
And you're still doing it?
Yes.
What does it bring to you?
Just brings me a lot of enjoyment. It brings me things that I can't describe in words, and I try to describe in music.
Really?
Sometimes not very well, but I try to do the best I can with what little I got. I hope it comes out for the best.
Do you think
knowing full well it's going to come out exactly the way it's supposed to, and ain't a damn thing I can do about it. Sorry about that.
What about the magic of steamboats to you? What's the attraction there?
I don't know. It's like trying to ask me what it is I love about my wife, because I'm too close to it. There's no way I could tell. I think the love I have is too all-encompassing, so I don't know no way of describing it.
It's all the things put together, the sound and the sight and the...
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's just, there's so much to it, the sight and the smell and the feeling, but then the principle of it. I wouldn't even know how to begin to know how to put that into words.
Obviously,
I tried, but I mean, it takes a long time and it's very involved.
Is it difficult to pilot one of these things, the paddle wheeler?
Well, I guess once you get into it and learn how to do it, it couldn't be too hard or I couldn't do it. But I'm not an expert at it. I'm a drugstore pilot. There's a lot that I like to do and I like to try to do, but there's a whole lot of them out there that can do it much better than I am. And I'm always, when a real expert comes in the pilot house, I'm always content to stand back and let him show me how it's done.
They're slow, aren't they?
And I probably get as much out of being an observer as watching somebody really do it well as I do doing it myself.
The boats themselves travel slowly?
Well, comparatively speaking, compared to cars and trains and things like that, they do, but maybe not compared to within the context of the river, they don't. Depends on the boat. Depends on whether it's going upstream or down. Depends on the stage of the river.
Is there something about traveling slowly?
All of that. Well, but you don't feel like you're traveling slow. If you're in high water and you're coming down on a bridge and you got a wind blowing across there, it seems like you're coming awful fast. It seems like you can't. Even when you start backing into the currents, you're still coming down there faster than you want to be. Yeah. So, I think maybe the speed can be relative with your desire for it.
How important was the river to America years and years ago?
Well, it was the only way to get anywhere because there wasn't any roads and there wasn't any railroad beds or anything like that. It was outside of a footpath. It was about the only way to get anywhere.
And when the railroads came, it didn't make the river obsolete, but life.
Well, that's a thorny subject. See, and I think part of the transportation problem right now is because the rivers and the railroads never would cooperate. And basically, and I'm sure a lot of people will take me to task for this, but basically what happened is the railroads came in and they put the track up and down each side of the river and cut the rates down where the river couldn't compete with it. And then when the steamboats had died out, then they raised the rates back up. You know, of course, I'm going to take a lot of flack for that, but that's, I think, basically what happened.
What's now?
And then the rivers came back and started the barge lines, and the railroads couldn't compete with that, and then that happened. Meanwhile, the interstate highway system came in and took it away from both of them, and now we're looking at a country that's about to become covered with concrete because of it, because we've let the river transportation, especially passenger transportation thing, go to the wayside, and now the railroad passenger train business is not very good either. And everybody's going everywhere by car, and so the interstates just keep getting wider and wider and wider, and I think that's probably the biggest environmental threat we have in this country. But that's only a personal opinion. I can't be somebody to try to, even though I've just got on my platform, I can't ever be somebody that can sit around and say how things should be. I just only have to go along with how things are.